Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you with us tonight. I'm Kerro O'Shea, but I think all of you guys know that, the coordinator of The Voice and the host for this evening's webinar. A special welcome to tonight's presenter, Assistant Governor Matthew Pham from Rotary Elizabeth Quay here in Western Australia. Hey, Matthew, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. It's great to see you here. But it's also important at this stage to acknowledge the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm hosting tonight's webinar. I acknowledge the strength of their continuing culture and offer my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and love some of the great work that's still happening on reconciliation here in Western Australia. But now for tonight's presentation, the power of TikTok, a fantastic topic to be presented by Matthew Pham. Over to you, please, Matthew.
Thanks, Kerro. Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew. And firstly, I'm also presenting on Whadjuk Noongar country, so I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. So I'm going to be talking about the power of TikTok, a couple things I've learnt along the way. So let's go. So every story has a beginning, and this is my origin story when it comes to TikTok. So up until the beginning of this year, I was a TikTok non-believer. I was like many other people who didn't really understand what it was. I thought it was a bit of a joke, a bit of a gaffe. I thought it was just for young people to have a bit of a laugh, do some dancing, some lip syncing, and nothing of value was created on the platform. But my mind was changed, and it was actually thanks to Kerro. He posted up this article on Membership Voice, and it was on Volunteering WA, and they had a look at their marketing strategy to engage a younger or the next generation of people into volunteering. So what do they find in all of this? So first off, Volunteering WA found that over the past 6 years, 150,000 volunteers have been lost in the state, which is a lot, and that accounts to over 22% decline in this period of time. Now, they did acknowledge that COVID had a part to play, but it wasn't the divisive factor. What they acknowledged was, they weren't marketing effectively to the next generation or young people. They also found out that volunteering for younger people meant something different in that young people did want to volunteer, but they wanted something back. It was more of a transactional relationship is what they found. And compared to, the older generation, volunteering was a bit of a selfless exercise. I give back and I don't want anything in return. Whereas young people they're happy to give back, but they want something in return of giving back. So what Volunteering WA was, they hired a marketing company to rebrand volunteering and to promote to the young generation on different social media platforms, and platforms such as Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And what they found was they had some early signs of success on these platforms, especially with the younger generation. And if we link this back to Rotary, as we all know, Rotary is declining in the Western countries. Now, if we look at the membership of Rotary Zone 8, over the last 10 years, our membership has declined by over 8,000 members. And that is a little bit more than 22%, which is a lot. And, I think we can all agree that Rotary is fantastic and amazing. We do some fantastic work in the community and to make the world a better place. But I think the problem is we still have a public image and perception problem. And I can say that from personal and firsthand experience in that my club, Rotary Elizabeth Quay, our average age demographic is mid-30s. And when I ask them about Rotary or why they joined Rotary, their response is something like this. The newer members are like, oh, yeah, when I was thinking about joining Rotary, I told my partner or my friend or my younger sibling or whatever about joining Rotary. Their response from their loved one is, are you sure you want to join Rotary? Isn't that just for old people? And don't they just cook sausages on the weekend? So it just goes to show you that we've got a long way to go when it comes to public image and perception, and something needs to change as a result of all of that. So after all that, in mind, I put my hand up and said, you know what? I'm going to give TikTok a bit of a go. I'm very passionate about volunteering and Rotary and giving back. It's made a profound impact in my life. I want to be able to tell that story and inspire the next generation. And TikTok is probably the way to go. So on the 20th of Feb this year, I created a TikTok account and started my first TikTok video. So I'm going to show you and tell you a few things that I've learned along the way. So first off, what is TikTok? So TikTok is a social media platform, and its main content is short form videos. So the videos on the platform are generally 15 to 20 seconds long, but they can be long as 10 minutes. And currently on TikTok, there is 1 billion active monthly users on the platform, which is a lot of people. Now, if you compare that to Facebook, Facebook has 2.5 billion active monthly users, but you also want to factor in that Facebook's been around for over 15 years and TikTok's been around for 6 years, but it's had an explosion of growth in the last 2 years. So it just goes to show you in a short amount of time how quickly it's exploded and grown. Of those monthly users, 60% of those users are Gen Z. So those people are born after the age of 1996. So that's considered young people. So, that's where they are. They're on TikTok, long story short of it all. Another thing to note about TikTok is the watch time and consumption rate on the platform. And the best way to explain or describe this is to compare this to another platform. And a good one is YouTube. So YouTube is a video platform space. Now, if you look at, and this is last year's figures, TikTok, the average daily watched minutes on TikTok is more than that of YouTube, which is crazy. I just said TikTok is 15, 20 second long videos, but it just goes to show you how these things add up. So there is more watch time on TikTok than YouTube, which blew my mind. So they're watching content on TikTok. Now, whether you know or not know TikTok much, it's had a profound impact on the social media landscape and mainstream media. So last year, as a result of TikTok and its growth, Facebook announced that they'll be launching Reels on their platform. And Reels is short form videos in response to TikTok, which is short form video content. So people would stay on Facebook and consume their content. And Instagram, being owned by Facebook, did something similar. They now have Reels, and Instagram for a long period of time was a photo-based content platform. And on the right here, you'll notice this logo as YouTube similarly, but this is actually YouTube Shorts logo. And again, in response to TikTok, YouTube announced YouTube Shorts, which is short form videos to engage and for people to consume content and stay on their platform. So the long story short of it all is short form content works. Now, lastly, I just want to show a bit of the sign of the times in that, it's fallen out of favor, Facebook. And recent studies have shown that only 32% of American teens are actively on Facebook. And if you compare that number to 7-8 years ago, that number was 71%. So it's dropped by half. So it just goes to show you the changing of the times and a substitution effect from Facebook to other platforms such as, Instagram and TikTok. So why does TikTok work? The best way to explain and describe it is we're going to watch a TikTok video from Gary Vaynerchuk, also known as Gary V. He's a well-known entrepreneur and a public speaker. So we're going to watch a video on why he thinks TikTok is so popular.
Why TikTok has become the biggest social network in the world is because the algorithm was based on the interest graph, not on the social graph. What does that mean? The four of us, at 17, we were a clique and we followed each other. Over the next decade, all four of us' lives evolved. Our interests evolved, but the content becomes not as valuable because when you're following people, people are always evolving. That was Facebook, that was Twitter, that was the first era of social. The graph that it was built on was who you follow. TikTok came along and said, we're gonna go about this differently. We're gonna feed you the things that you're interested in. We're gonna build AI and technology that knows Gary's into wine now, but he might be less into wine in 2 years, and we're gonna show him sneakers. And it keeps pounding interest. What that has done is created a higher level of merit and and more stickiness. People enjoy TikTok so much today because they're actually getting what they want.
But why wouldn't Facebook and Twitter do that too?
They're going to, but algorithms are high tech. There's a lot that goes into that.
So it's crazy how well he describes this, and it goes to show you why TikTok is so addictive and why people consume so much content on it. And I can say from firsthand experience how addictive it is, because the algorithm is based on someone's interest, and it shows you what you're liking now and what you're going to like. And I can't tell you how eerily scary that is. So now I'm going to show you a bit of the basics on how you can create content on the platform. So when you create an account, your homepage will look something like this, or this is what the homepage will look like. So at the very top is a couple of tabs, but the main tab that people use is the For You page, or the For You tab. And this is where TikTok's algorithm comes in, and that's what Gary Vee talked about, is where people's interest is being shown on their page. So that is what the homepage looks like. And if you want to engage on the video or the content, on the right-hand side, is your opportunity to tap on the page or the content creator's page and see what videos they're all about. You can like, you can comment, share, you can favorite the post, very similar to what Facebook has now. If you're curious about the page or the account and see what videos that they're posting, you can tap on these two areas marked here, and you can follow them, and you can see their future posts and see what they've done. And lastly, TikTok's really big on sounds or songs. So the areas marked in green, if you like a song or sound in the video, you can tap on these two areas and save it and favorite it so you can use on your content. So that's the basis of what the homepage looks like. Now, what happens if you want to create your own TikTok video? Well, quite simply, at the bottom of your homepage, there's this plus button. And when you press that, it will take you to something something on the right here. Now, very simply and very basically, there's two ways for you to create content. The first way is at the middle here, there's this red button, and it's just your record button. So you'll be recording on the app some videos, and you can stop, start, and change, see how you go on that way. The other method is on the right, you'll see an upload tab. So if you tap on that, you'll get your phone library up, and you can pick and choose, the pre-recorded videos or photos, and pick the ones to make your own TikTok content or video. What I also do want to recommend is TikTok's pretty sophisticated, and it's a bit of a one-stop shop. So I highly recommend you to, have a look and play around with all the features on TikTok. TikTok is where you can do everything all in the one app. You can shoot, record, edit, fine-tune, finesse, all in the one place. So, in the simplest terms, you can do everything on the platform. So once you're all done that, you can click next, and you'll be on a screen that looks something like this, or for me, it looks like this. And this is why I like to call it the editing room, or it's the cutting room. So this gives you a bit of a preview when it's all cut together, what the video looks like. And the beauty about TikTok is when you pick the videos that you've chosen, it will spit out a clip of what it will look like. And it will even sync a song to the video that you've put together. So at the bare minimum, your video is ready to go, done by the platform, which is amazing. But again, I do recommend you having a look at the Creator Studio or the features on the app. Whether you want to add some text on your content, whether you want to adjust the clips and tweak and fine tune some things, whether you want to do a voiceover or text to speech, or even if you want to change the song or sounds, that's your flexibility to change up and mix it up. But highly recommend you checking these features out on the platform. So if you're happy with all that, on the bottom right, there's the next button, which will take you to here. And this is what I like to call it as your finishing touches. So on the top right, you can tap on it, and that is your final preview of what your video looks like before you send it and post it to go live. You can also add a brief description of what your video is all about and add some hashtags. And, it's always good to add hashtags that's relevant to your video or what you want to talk about and storytell. And if you're all good with that, on the bottom right is post. You tap on that and that's it. You've posted a TikTok video on the platform for the world to see. Now, I want to show you a video that's typical to what a TikTok video kind of looks like. So this is a video that Melissa, so she's the club president of my club. So this is a video that she posted up about 12 months ago on our club page. So let's just have a bit of a watch and just notice the pacing of it.
Look at all this milk from my office. It would be out of date by Monday. Knowing I'm a Rotarian, they asked me on Friday afternoon to take it and put it to good use. So on Saturday, I made it into rice pudding. We gave the rice pudding to the Perth Homeless Support Group to give out on Sunday morning.
So that's, a typical TikTok video that you'll see on the platform. And this is an example of when TikTok, goes well and works in your favor. The beauty about TikTok is it doesn't matter how many followers you are. It's based on someone's interest, and, your video can be in the spotlight without doing anything. And you can have that organic growth. So that video that Melissa posted up was viewed by over 360,000 people. Yes, 360,000 people watched that video. And we didn't do anything differently, or Melissa didn't do anything differently. And the beauty about that is, yes, we got people watching the video, but we also got people engaging on the video. So as you can see on the right, people asking what Rotary is all about, or I'm from Rotary, keep up the great work. It created discussion about what Rotary and giving back is and looks like. And, that can only be good for Rotary as a whole. So, this is just a small example of what TikTok can offer and for content creators. Oh, I skipped a page. Okay. A couple of tips and tricks when it comes to creating your TikTok content or video is that your first 2 seconds is very important. And I probably can't stress that enough. We call it the hook. And your hook has to be engaging and get them on the reel. It's got to be something that engages someone's attention. Whether you ask, you start with a rhetorical question or do something a bit funky, or you convey a bit of value. That is your opportunity to capture their attention and get them on the reel. And the reason why I say this is there's a lot of content on TikTok, and people's attention spans are very limited and small. So in the first 2 seconds, if you don't convey to them why they should watch your video, they're going to swipe past and watch someone else's content. So in order for your content to engage and do well, you want to have a bit of a pitch at the very beginning to say to them, hey, this is why you should watch my video. And, if you're on the platform enough, if you watch a few TikTok videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll see, many of these hooks in many different forms, and feel free to give them a go and apply them and see what works for you. So when you've got on the hook, it's really important that they watch your whole video. That's the aim of your video and what your goal is. So when I say every second matters, I literally mean it. As you saw, the pacing is really important to storytell and to keep them engaged. If your video is boring or monotonous, there's, a lot of stale areas, or there's a lot of ums and ahs and nothing's really happening, again, they're just going to swipe past and not engage in your post. So it's really important to keep it engaging as possible. And, there's so many ways to make it interesting. But my advice on this is, have a look at the content in the platform. And also, there's this organization here called Give Volunteers, which is a volunteer organization. And I think they've done a pretty good job on the platform when it comes to storytelling and pacing. So, have a look at how they do it and, apply that to your videos. And, just keep looking at videos to keep improving how you can storytell. So the last part of the formula is a call to action. And the best way to explain it is, first we'll watch 2 videos that I produced. So the first video is me on my personal page to talk, one, about this webinar, and two, a little bit about Rotary. And the second video is the one I posted on our club page. And it's a brief member introduction at one of our latest service projects. So let's just watch both of these videos. Well, I never thought I'd get here. Earlier this year, I started on TikTok to promote volunteering and giving back. And next week, I'll be presenting a webinar for Rotary about the power of TikTok. So you're probably wondering what Rotary is. You're probably thinking old people cooking sausages at Bunnings, but Rotary is more than that. Rotary is an international service organisation doing some great work around the world. There's 35,000 clubs around the world, and my club is the Rotary Club Elizabeth Quay here in WA. Joining Rotary has been the best thing I've done in my life. So if you'd like to tune in on the webinar, the link's in the description. And if you like my TikTok shirt, give me a follow. Cool. Now watch the second video.
Yeah, they're invincible, and she just in the background. And she said, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool.
So you'll notice the pacing of both the videos, and that's kind of a bit of a feel, but you might have noticed as well, in the last 2 seconds of both the videos, I had was called a call to action, which is something on the lines of, if someone's watched the end of your video, you basically tell them, hey, if you like my content, please give me a follow, or hey, check out my other content. And it's a great way to convert those people just watching your video to become engaged followers. And I recommend having this in all your videos. And also, especially when the algorithm pushes out your content for people to see. So, if you get a couple thousand people or a couple 100,000 people watching your video who don't even know what your page is all about, or what Rotary is all about, this call to action is your opportunity to convert them into following and engaging your content for future news. A couple more tips and tricks I'll say is it's a lot of trial and error with TikTok. I think TikTok is quantity over quality. And what I mean by that is it's to see how TikTok works is you just need to, create a lot of content pieces and just see what happens and see what works and doesn't work. That's the only way you'll learn on the platform. So, post content, see the ones that do engage well, and the ones that do well, find out why or figure out why. And if the pieces that work well, apply it to your next videos. Excuse me. Another thing which is probably under-recognized or people don't see is repurposing. Now, what I mean by this is when you create a TikTok video, it automatically saves that video on your phone. So what does that mean? That gives you an opportunity to post that same piece of content on your other social media platforms. So you could post that same video piece on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. So you can see a bit of a multiplier effect in all of this. So all of a sudden, that one piece of content that you created, you can post it 3 or 4 times. So you get that multiplier effect, and I see it as a great return on investment for your time invested. And it's just telling the Rotary story, or your story, even more so. And I think this is highly underrated when it comes to TikTok, to be honest with you. Now, in all this, when I started TikTok beginning of this year, I also said, you know what, I'm just going to create an account for my business. And for many of you don't know, my business or my family, we own and operate 4 IJ stores or supermarkets here in WA. And I said to myself, you know what, I'm just going to create a TikTok page, see what happens, and learn some stuff along the way. I'll learn some things which I can apply to, storytelling for volunteering and Rotary. So on the 3rd of March, I started a TikTok page, and the question is, did it work? So to answer that, I've got some data or some statistics to show. So currently we have over 1,400 followers on our account, and I haven't spent a single dollar on the page at all for marketing at all. It's pure organic reach and followers. In this time, I've created over 100 videos on the account. In total, we've had over 42,000 likes that people have engaged on the videos. And this last statistic blows my mind. We've had over 860,000 people watch our content, which completely blows my mind. And I can't think of any other social media platform which will give us that reach for nothing. You know, it just goes to show when you have, you know, when you're in the spotlight, it can work. So, yeah, so it has worked for my business. A couple other things I'd note is it's definitely differentiated my business. In that I think in general, supermarkets, we don't engage to the young generation very well. And this gave me an opportunity to connect with Gen Z pretty much. And it's pretty funny. Just a couple of days ago, I got recognized by 6 kids at my Byford store about being the guy on TikTok. And I've been known as the IGA guy on TikTok, which, you know, I never thought in a million years I'd ever get that. And also, never saw this all happening. And as you can see, a few of our videos got over 100,000 views. And again, we didn't do anything special at all. And what I also want to make mention is, as you can see on the photo, that girl pictured, her name is Jordan, or better known as Geordie. She, at the moment, just gets paid by my business just to do TikToks and create video content with me. Now, she's a young kid, and she's probably got the best job that she can dream of, just making TikToks and getting paid for it. Now, if you told me that was going to be a thing at the beginning of this year, I would have laughed at you and I would have told you that you're dreaming. But it just goes to show you that this works. TikTok works. It works for business. So you have a business, highly recommend it. What it's also done is it's got my staff involved as well, which has been a great byproduct. I've got staff involved in my videos and the content creation process. And it's actually created a lot of fun in our stores and create a engaging culture where it's lighthearted, can have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of a fun. And I see that in Rotary. You know, if you're creating content, you know, get your club members involved, have a bit of a laugh, and that's where you can create some really good content. Couple of final takeaways I'd say is, first, number one is to be authentic. And what I mean by that is, think about what story you want to tell, and go for it. And you know, it doesn't matter if you get 0 views or 100 views or 10 views. You know, if you're true to yourself and be authentic, you know, that is the best content that you could post on TikTok. The next is to learn to be comfortable in front or behind of a camera. Now, for me, this was probably the biggest challenge that I had, in that, you know, I manage the social media pages for my business and for my club, and Facebook and LinkedIn's very similar in that, you know, you get a photo, you type up a post, and you walk away. But TikTok demands something different in the content creation process. In it, you know, it asks you to record videos. It asks you to be in front of a video, in front of a camera, talk in front of a camera, be dynamic and engaging in front of the camera. And for me, it was something that I had to learn to be comfortable to do. So the only piece of advice I can give in this space is, don't worry about what other people think about you. Just honestly go for it. And it takes a bit of time that you'll soon to be comfortable with it all. You know, and, you know, it's okay to have multiple takes. You know, whether you have to do 1 take or 100 takes, doesn't matter, because you'll pick the one that works for you, and that's the one that you post up. The last one is, and most importantly, is just to have fun the whole process. Like, seriously, you know, TikTok isn't be taken too seriously. So, but it's lighthearted and you can have some fun. And I think the ones that you have fun, especially with, you know, other people and club members, that will generally translate to the best TikTok videos. So seriously, have fun the whole process, enjoy the whole journey, and yeah, have fun. So that's all I have to really say. First off, if you're curious and like to follow me on the socials, on the left here is all my personal social media pages. And on the right here is all the of my club's social media pages, which I manage more actively. And if you have any questions or queries, feel free to contact me on my email address. And with that, thank you all for listening, and thank you for all for your time. Cheers.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was terrific, mate. Glenda Bryson has a question about about music, I think. Over to you, please, Glenda.
Hey, thanks, Caro. Matthew, that was fantastic. And I know Sharon's posted as well, and I don't want to take the thunder away, Sharon, but you really, Matthew, have changed my opinion of what TikTok is all about for the service clubs. I watch these bloody things and go, how do they do that? Why do they do that? Now I get why we can do it for Rotary. But my question was, when you were showing a demonstration of bringing up, your first video, and it showed on the bottom the soundtracks that could attach to it. Do you have to pay for that?
No. So long story, yeah. So TikTok is so good in that you get access to all that, and it's not copyright or anything. So as long as, another piece of advice, don't become a business account, just be a normal account, and you can use any song or sound on the platform as you please.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. And how do you get rid of that voice, that rotten, silly voice? What's that lady that?
So that's something called a text to speech. So basically, if you write a text box, you can convert that into someone saying that. So that lady that you're talking about is that, I assume that's what you're referring to. So she's probably the most common person to do the text to speech. But if you're comfortable, you can do your personal recordings using your own voice. So, or you can pick some other voices.
I'm going to get my voice in training. Thank you.
Does this mean we're going to have a few amateur Essendon TikToks coming out there, Glenda?
Oh, now listen, I'm not sure about the Essendon Football Club right at the moment. I'm unsure of what's going on in my world of the Bombers, but certainly the Rotary Club of Bendigo, I might give it a crack.
Fantastic. We could have a new TikTok star here.
Wicked.
Now, Matthew, you touched on some. I mean, there were. I was really appreciated the way you went into the capacity building stuff about TikTok right at the start. That really positioned the second part brilliantly. Teamwork. Now, REC is a group of about 45 to 50 young philanthropists, professionals. Tell me about teamwork and TikTok in a REC environment.
Yeah, good question. So first off, I'd like to say a big shout out to Melissa Dorr, who's the club president. She was one of my biggest factors in joining TikTok because she was been on the platform for 12 months prior to I was, at the very least. And she gave me the confidence to just post stuff up. Her personal page is a lot about food blogging and, her food adventures. And she's natural in everything in front of a camera. So, it takes a lot of confidence, and it gave me a lot of confidence to post on that, because someone like her was already took the initiative to be on there. And when it comes to teamwork, so teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. But at my stores, it's generally pretty easy for people to go, for me or Melissa to go, hey, go in front of the camera, do this, and we'll just clip it. It's generally, if you ask them, they'll generally do it. And you only want to get the people who are willing and involved in the whole process. If someone is camera shy, then that's fine. But generally you'll find some willing and able volunteers to be in front of the camera and do what you need them to do. So long story short of it all, yeah.
So I guess that gets back to what you were saying about your third point, that if you're having fun while you're doing this, that's going to flow. That's going to be obvious and flow into what you're doing.
100%. It's infectious. We have a bit of a laugh, and I think the good thing about TikTok is you get to be comfortable to have a laugh at yourself. It's a bit goofy, but it tells a story, and that's what we should appreciate it for.
Fantastic. Thanks, Matthew. Glenda has a question about equipment.
Is nobody asking other questions here, Kara? I do. So is it just your phone, or do you have to have a special camera?
Yeah.
Headphones, microphones.
No, okay. So this is the beauty of TikTok. You pick whatever's you're comfortable with. TikTok, at the basic level, you can produce content, the whole box and dice, using your phone.
Okay.
So For me, 99.99% of my content is on the TikTok app. Now, you can get the special cameras and you record and you edit on your computer and you get apps and blah, 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 blah. But in its pure essence, everything can be done on your phone on the TikTok platform.
So you got to have a stable hand.
One thing I'd recommend, and it worked for me, is I bought so call it a tripod where you can mount your phone. I bought it for Kmart for $25. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's paid for itself well and truly. So you don't really need much equipment more than that, to be honest. You can get a stable hand, but invest $25 for a mount, so you don't need to wiggle your hand around.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Tripods are wonderful things.
100%.
Tripods are wonderful things.
I use them for my big camera, but not my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're handy for phones too, especially with these little adapters. Talk about. I think there's an issue here that's pretty important. You did touch on it, Matthew, but I'd like to sort of drill into it a little more deeply because it's going to be pretty important for our clubs when they venture, and I say when they venture into the TikTok space, and that's calls to action. Could you just flesh that out a bit, please, mate? Because I think converting a story to something happening is important for this game.
Oh, it's such a good question. So when it came to TikTok, first and foremost, when it came to content creating, the algorithm one was very good, and it showed me all the stuff I need to know to create a video because it knew I was in that space. And I learned a call to action was really important. I've seen many people go viral, they get 1 million views, but it doesn't have that flow on effect in terms of engaged followings, or their future video contents don't get any views. So they haven't maximized their time in the sun. And a lot of people don't know this, but Karen and I quickly talked about, there's a YouTuber called Mr. Beast. Now, he's the biggest YouTuber on the planet. He has 100 million subscribers on his platform, and he is so far in front of everyone else, it's not even funny. And I actually watched a podcast on him recently, and he basically said, you just got to basically tell him to subscribe. Go, hey, and you'll see a lot of YouTube has the same formula. Hey, if you like my stuff, subscribe, or you haven't subscribed to me, and you subscribe for X, Y, and Z. So it's really important. It's really powerful when someone tells you to do something, you're probably more likely inclined to do it. So, to link to Rotary, once you've been comfortable in that space, if you ask someone to join or to be part of it all, they're more than likely going to reciprocate.
Go on, Sharon.
Matthew, have you got TikTok videos that we can share with the clubs already?
When you say video, sorry, just to clarify, what do you mean by that?
Well, does TikTok integrate with Facebook? No.
Look, when you say integrate, as in like with the content you post on TikTok to Facebook?
Video, yeah.
Look, okay, so there are apps that can automate this process, but I don't know too much about it. But so, like I said, with the repurposing, so when you create a TikTok video, it goes on your phone, and then you just post that video on Facebook and go, this is what we did, X, Y, and Z. So hopefully that answers your question to make it streamlined.
A follow-up question there, and Sharon's led into something that I did want to explore a little further with you, Matthew. One of the things we know about is that different social platforms have different optimum sort of content. Like, for example, Facebook makes it easy for you to share Instagram stuff on Facebook, but it's not always a brilliant fit. Similarly, say Facebook to LinkedIn and that sort of thing. Are there any Lindsay, I'll be with you in a moment for the question. Are there any issues with that, with sharing TikTok onto say Facebook or LinkedIn?
When you say sharing, do you mean sharing the video or sharing the link, or?
Really the content. When the content appears on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. Not Not really. It's pretty straightforward. So what I do want to note is when you create content on TikTok and it saves to your phone, there's a watermark of TikTok and your username on the video piece. Now, I've heard that obviously the other platforms don't like advertising of another platform, so that might affect its engagement, watchability, and so on and so forth. But you can actually Google TikTok watermark remover, and all of a sudden that you just upload that video onto the link and you download it, and guess what? It spits out a clean video without the watermark, so you can post up. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. For me, I don't really see the need to it, so I just post up whatever I get on my camera roll.
So it's generally a pretty good fit.
It's very straightforward. Yeah, TikTok's pretty. Yeah, once you understand the basics, it's very user friendly after that.
Fantastic. Well, at this stage, Lindsay, if you have a question, I believe.
Yes, I do, please. I'm with Youth Exchange, and that seems to be a very good fit for us to be doing TikTok for the students in high school rather than Facebook.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And the reason why I put up that article was when I was talking to my own staff members. You know, I employ a lot of staff under the age of 16, and you know, most of them aren't even on Facebook, and they hardly even use it. So, you know, the data shows that they're not on Facebook, and they're definitely not engaging on Facebook. They're on different other platforms. TikTok and Instagram probably being the two at the moment that I can see. So, yeah.
We'll be coming back to you.
Yeah. And I do want to note that, you know, the Generation Z, the attention span of the young people is much, much smaller to everyone else. Like, I'm on a school council, and I asked the teachers about this, and they say that they have to change their lesson plan pretty quickly because kids these days are just bored and they don't engage at school. And if they don't engage at school, they don't consume the content, so forth. So lean that back in. That's why TikTok's so effective in that, you know, in 20 seconds, you're going to take a piece or some value away. And if you don't, guess what? You're going to watch the next video and the next video. So we're in a very fast pace, you know, tell me quickly, otherwise I'm going to go somewhere else type of mentality.
Lovely. Thanks, Matt.
Fantastic.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Lindsay. In fact, there was a TikTok on Rotary Youth Exchange that got a phenomenal number of views. I think that was last year. And that was one that really certainly opened my eyes to the potential of the platform to do good for Rotary. But Glenda has an interesting question there about relevance of content. Over to you, please, Glenda.
Thanks again. And I'm sorry if it appears to be I'm hogging the platform, but my brain's active right at the moment. And I think it might have something to do with the gins that I've just had tonight. We were talking about earlier on about sharing between TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. I might have read the question slightly different, that in Facebook there's a lot of generic posts put up, pardon me, by people of action groups and stuff like that. And more often than not, you get others saying, oh, can I steal that and share it? So my thinking is that in TikTok, the content that you're putting up, pardon me, is relevant only to that club. Really, when you think about it, you're selling the Rotary Club of Bendigo. So why would the Rotary Club of Western Australia want to pick my TikTok post up? And it's sort of like a question/statement. Am I right, wrong? I could be wrong.
I just need to understand your question better, just to clarify, so I can respond. So
my post on TikTok, if I'm going to do it under the Rotary Club of Bendigo, is going to be about what Bendigo is doing, about you know, the projects in Bendigo. So why would then the Rotary Club of Western Australia want to pick my TikTok post up and share it?
When you say Rotary WA, are you saying a page, someone's account, or?
Yeah, somebody else's
No,
account.
so I mean,
Sharon.
someone
Sharon.
yeah,
I don't know where
I
you
think
are,
someone said in
Sharon.
the post, it promotes Rotary as a whole. So how I want to describe this is, let's remember TikTok's algorithm is interest-based. So they're just going to keep spitting out, if I watch all volunteer, they're going to show me all Rotary and volunteering stuff, which can only be good for Rotary. Like I said, the perception of Rotary, either young people don't even know who we are, or they think it's a club for old people cooking sausages at Bunnings on a weekend.
Yep.
Now, at the moment, if I told people about Rotary about that, they're no inkling of joining at all. But you want to convey, this is what Rotary looks like. This is how you can have some fun. This is what you can get out of Rotary. Are you interested? And that's the important message to sell. And what I'd also say is, because I'm liking and following so many pages of Rotary, you'd be very surprised how many road track clubs and in-track clubs are on TikTok and how successful they are. You'd be incredibly surprised.
Okay.
And it compared to Rotary, there's more channels or accounts of Interact and Road Track, and they are doing a very good job in storytelling. Like, it's fast paced, kids having fun, volunteering, giving back, and so on, and servicing for the community. Like, they seem to get it, obviously, in their demographics. So you got to remember that you want to be able to get to a stage that your piece of content gets on someone else's For You page or their interest page. Because that's, and like I said, it doesn't matter if you, like, the first time I got 100,000 views on my business account, I had 100 followers, not even. And then one day, I did I was promoting pickles in a pouch, which is a thing. And then literally in the space of a couple of hours, I had 100,000 views and people calling, messaging, Facebooking me, walking in the store, driving 20 Ks to pick up this pickle in a pouch.
Yeah.
Now, it shows you how effective this thing is, and you want to, make hay when the sun shines.
I must admit, when I'm scrolling through Facebook late at night and, I'm trying to go to sleep and I've got a device in my hand, which is not ideal, the amount of reels, as we're now becoming familiar with on Facebook, but the amount of reels that actually generate from TikTok.
Correct. So it's funny you mentioned that, Glenda. So I told Melissa that TikTok's a bit of the place for inside jokes. And we are first with all the inside jokes, all the trends, all everything. And then it permeates to Facebook. And like you said, a lot of the high watched Facebook reels are basically, in essence, from TikTok. Like, same thing. So it just goes to show you how everything is always a derivation of TikTok.
Of TikTok, yeah. Thank you.
A huge opportunity. Absolutely. Now, we've got an example of something that I think has spawned from this in our I don't know whether you're all aware of it, but our Rotary International President nominee, Stephanie Urchik, has launched a campaign, a dance video campaign, and I think that relates to the Reels phenomenon as well. A question, Matthew, about an important emphasis that our Rotary International Director, she's spoken about the need for clubs to be member-centric, so that we look after members as individuals rather than requiring them to line up and conform. How can a platform like TikTok help with that move to member centricity?
Good question. Well, you want to be able to tell the club story. That's the first thing. And what value a Rotary club can provide. Let's say it's giving back and planting trees. Let's say if someone's very passionate about that, or someone's professional development. You want to be able to convey to people the value, because, like I said, Generation Z, or the next generation, it's more of a transactional relationship when it comes to volunteering. Happy to give back, but what do I get back in return? And I think that's the important thing to take attention of. And if you can answer that, if I could be able to convey to people what Rotary's done for me, and Rotary's been the best thing I've done in my life, people would be queuing up for Rotary. And that's the story we need to keep telling people. And it's also very important to ask people. Asking questions is the most important thing when it comes to an engaged member or someone looking to join a club. What are you looking for? What makes you passionate about Rotary? If people say they don't want to volunteer and they don't want professional development, then Rotary's probably not for them. Let's be smart about this. But the ones that want to give back, or the ones that want to learn public speaking or network or personal development, Rotary's the place for them. So you have to be very clever and strategic in asking questions and weeding out the engaged people to the not so engaged people.
So for a modern Rotary club, and obviously Elizabeth Key is an outstanding example from our library, with this, given that we've got 7 stories out of Elizabeth Key in the history of Membership Voice. So for example, for an up and coming satellite club in the far south of New Zealand, this would be an essential ingredient in the communications armoury.
Yep, Matthew, you've won me over. I used to wonder what the heck TikTok Lincolnville was, but I get it. I actually get it tonight. I so do. I just thought it was about people dancing around and all about them, but I get I call it radio WIFM. What's in it for me, and what's in it for them? People watching you, and why would they want to follow you on TikTok? I actually get it, and I'm so pleased I'm tuned in tonight. Thank you, Matthew. Outstanding.
No, you're welcome, Sharon. And I do want to make mention, I've spent probably way too much time on TikTok, but monitoring like the trends in today's world, in the modern age, it's driven a lot by influencers. Even in my space as retail supermarkets, I've started to figure out all these things, and this is your opportunity to create a point of difference. I was talking to Kerry. There's a guy on YouTube named Mr. Beast. He has 100 million subscribers, and he does so many different things. He's not only a YouTuber, he's an entrepreneur business person. He sells chocolate, and do you know what else he does? He has a philanthropy business. So he gets 6 million viewers or 10 million viewers on videos about him doing volunteering stuff.
Cool.
Now, we have 1.3, 1.4 million Rotarians, and we can't get the reach that he does. So, this is just a sign of the times that one person can move oceans and move mountains. So it's great to leverage and be in this space while you can and be ahead.
I think that's, and the essence is that so many Rotary clubs don't want to change, and this is the way forward. They hate that word change, and we just need to change and open up our hearts and our minds, and don't be afraid. Like I'm so going to go have a look at this.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. So when I started TikTok, I will say on record, it's been the hardest thing I've ever done. Like It was bells and whistles. It was like Facebook meets YouTube on ADHD. I was like, and I just turned 30, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what the hell is happening. It probably took me about a month to realize and get my bearings right about what it all looks like. So yeah, it's really fast paced and full on. And, over my journey, that's all the things I learned. I try to, summarize it in this presentation to show you, okay, in my 7-8 months on TikTok, this is what I learned, and a couple of tips and tricks for you to get ahead of where I was, because I was completely lost for a long period of time.
I think with TikTok, we'll engage obviously new membership. It will not probably engage the older demographic, but like our satellite club, we know we won't be joined by current Rotarians. It's all the new people who will join us, because we're hands-on, focused, project-based. And yes, I can just see TikTok in 10 years' time or 5 going way, yay. And 30s and 40s will be engaging in new clubs of the future of Rotary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Matthew, we're close to time, mate.
Yep.
But I think one question, might sound like a bit like a negative, but I want to ask, because there's some obvious enthusiasm in our audience tonight, and hopefully the library item is going to trigger more. What's the biggest mistake that an super enthusiastic TikToker who's new to the space is likely to make?
Good question. I think it's a couple of things. I think one is being overwhelmed, because at the very beginning you're like, for me it was completely different to Facebook, and LinkedIn and YouTube. It was just so fast paced. There was so many things happening, and you can lose your bearings very quickly and get disheartened. And also, if you post a video, you only get 5 views. You get disheartened that way too. And also, for me is, like I said, TikTok requires something different from you. It requires you to be a producer, edit, record, add bells and whistles, which is different to Facebook. Take a photo, put up a post, and walk away. So it's a different skill set. But like I said, it takes time. The more you post up, the better you'll get. Like, if you see a couple of my beginning videos on my personal page, they were pretty awkward and uncomfortable. But I'm glad I went through all that, because it taught me a few things along the way of my style, the things that I work, and so just keep level headed. Just take a few things away and one thing at a time. And any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Fantastic, Matthew. Thank you. And let's give Matthew a huge round of applause for the job well done.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Awesome.
Well done, Matt.
Awesome.
Great work, mate.
Yeah.
Great work.
Awesome.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. On
Great
that note, thank you, everyone. You've heard a great story tonight. When the recording will be out within the next few days, so please feel free to share that, because I think Matthew's got a story here which could do a lot for a lot of Rotary programs and Rotary clubs.
Absolutely. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hey, and thank you, Carol.
Yeah. Bye.
And thank you, Matthew.